Our Spotlight on Maryland team continues our coverage on the war of words between Governor Moore and President Trump. Gary Collins takes to the streets to see what people think about the state's stubbornly persistent juvenile crime problem.
The results have been incredibly encouraging.
As a public feud between Maryland Governor Wes Moore and President Donald Trump took an escalated turn for the worse over the weekend, the governor continued to tout criminal justice talking points on the national media circuit.
Maryland's had amongst the fastest drops in violent crime of anywhere in the United States in the past 2.5 years. Yeah. The homicide rate in Maryland is down over 20% since I have been the governor.
Young people are not just smaller versions of adults.
Back at the kickoff, the Maryland General Assembly session in 2024, a year after taking office, Governor Moore's pick to lead the Maryland Department of Juvenile Services, Vincent Schiraldi, was already under fire for escalating juvenile crime due to a policy of limited detention and lax ankle monitoring of children accused of serious crimes, including murder.
Now, we still have a lot of work to do. But if there's anyone who is up to the job, it's our Secretary of Juvenile Services, Vinny Schiraldi.
The governor stood by Schiraldi then. In June 2025, Governor Moore said he asked Schiraldi to step down from leading DJS. Schiraldi has said to the Baltimore Sun he decided to leave. Now, on the streets in Baltimore on Monday, what's your opinion about juvenile crime here?
It's very hectic. I would say that especially for like my community-wise, it's scary.
It's out of whack. They need to put them kids, especially the repeat offenders, they need to lock them up. Whoever's the custody of the parents, they need to put them in charge too.
Hearing strong opinions on Maryland's ongoing juvenile crime crisis.
It's his administration, it's his Department of Juvenile Services.
We asked Maryland Senate Minority Whip Justin Reedy if the strong feelings we heard about ongoing juvenile crime in Maryland and Baltimore are a problem for Governor Moore's administration as he appoints the leadership at the Department of Juvenile Services and directs the policies that has resulted in repeat juvenile offenders in Baltimore.
It's been a philosophical problem of not believing in real accountability and allowing this agency to just kind of go rogue. And hopefully it's getting pulled back in, but we're still seeing a lot of problems.
We asked Senator Reedy if maybe it is time for President Trump to fulfill his threat of deploying the National Guard to Baltimore.
D.C. has gotten a lot safer. People don't like to talk about it. It has. All you have to do is turn on the news to see the different kinds of things that are happening with young people assaulting. Just over the weekend in Baltimore, there was a terrible incident about a playground with juveniles, setting fire to it.
The school playground incident that Senator Reedy referenced here in South Baltimore involved two juveniles below the age of 13. You can still smell the burnt scent of the playground equipment as kids now don't have equipment to play on. Damage estimates of the removed equipment exceed $100,000.
That's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. That's all I can really say about that.
Dylan Kriegler, who lives down the street from the playground fire, says the juvenile incident is, quote, crazy.
Who gave them the fire? I mean, like, who gave them a lighter? Who let them play around like that outside? It's kind of weird how they would have access to all that all the stuff they would need to set a fire.
With the president and governor sparring over crime issues in Baltimore, we asked residents, do you feel that the governor's advocating for you when it comes to juvenile crime?
You know what? I mean, our governor right now, I know he's new in Maryland, but he needs to do a lot more work in what he's doing.
Steve, a lifelong Baltimore resident, was also asked the pressing question on Marylanders' mind given the heated national debate. Do you feel like the National Guard would be helpful to deal with things like open-air drug markets here in Baltimore as well as juvenile crime?
Yes, because the Baltimore police system is very short of staff.
We will continue to follow closely. I'm Gary Collins in Baltimore with Spotlight on Maryland.
In an interview today, Gary spoke with Betsy Fox Tolentino, the Maryland Secretary of Juvenile Services, who was appointed by Governor Moore to fill Vincent Schiraldi's vacancy.
In Maryland, I have the resources I need to be able to continue to see those reductions in violent crime. What we need to do is make sure that we are doubling down on the strategies that are working for us and getting our young people what they need and rebuilding that trust and confidence with our communities.
We spoke to a lot of people today on the streets of Baltimore. And the number one concern with crime that they continue to say, I know you've only been in office for a period of time, but they do say that juvenile crime is the number one concern. Is it a valid concern?
I think everyone's concerns are valid concerns. You know, we have made a lot of progress, especially in Baltimore, in driving down violent crime, and that includes juvenile crime. But until every person feels safe and the community has trust and confidence in the department, we certainly still have work to do.
I do have to ask, though, I mean, was it a mistake for Vincent Schiraldi to lead the Department of Juvenile Services?
You know, that's not my judgment to make. I'm here today to move this agency forward, to ensure our young people are getting what they need.
Governor Westmore's office also responding, saying there is no higher priority than public safety for this administration, adding, though juvenile crime numbers continue to drop, we will continue to work in partnership to promote accountability for criminal acts and take swift action to keep our communities safe.